As many of you know, I accompany Kathabela on flutes, sometimes traditional Japanese or Chinese flutes, sometimes Native American flute, a couple times bass Renaissance flute. Unfortunately for you, I brought a slide whistle today. But this isn't just a toy one, this is real. This is the type, professional model, the type used in major symphony orchestras. It's old, it was made about 80 years ago in London. It's stamped with the patent.
So this is a really true story about a dream that I had last night, and the poem was written this morning for Just, who's a great friend. And I'm going to start by showing you this. It's a clear plastic jar. It's full of broken things. So this is the way I console myself if something breaks. So I'll leave it somewhere so you can see it while I'm talking. Maybe that's a nice angle. So this poem was recently published, very short, in Mariposa, a tanka and haiku journal. And it speaks of this. And then after that, I will read you the poem for Just. This clear plastic jar, the pleasant smoothness of its screw-top lid. I throw in everything I break. Just a little poem for Just. I was in my dream room. I always wanted a house with a separate room for just about everything. It looked like a library. And he just looked at me from across the aisle. Well, I said just, what poem do you want me to read for you tomorrow? Well, he looked astonished and said, what kind of a question is that? Very nonchalantly, he just reached into his pocket and pulled out a piece of my little broken plate. He held it up and smiled, but just as he raised his eyebrow, I knew he wasn't anywhere around when I broke it. I was just so astonished I forgot to take a photo before he disappeared. But then I remembered my clear plastic jar. Such a consolation. I just toss in everything I break. I figured when I woke up, this was all in the dream, when I woke up, I just pull that piece right out of the jar, look at it, and write. It was then that it turned into a nightmare. I panicked because that was just the part I had thrown in the trash. Well, you know, you can't just throw everything you break into a clear plastic mixed nuts jar. Even if you have a lot in your house, it would be full of them. So I just threw the edges of the plate in that jar. Oh no, and tossed the less interesting center part in the garbage. Well, that was just the part he had in his pocket. By this time, I had woken up and realized it was late when the plate broke, and I could probably just sift through the garbage and find it. Well, that's just what happened. And actually, It was just a little more interesting than I thought. I'm going to give it back to him.